Brooklyn Independent Television.
There's an almost endless list of Brooklynites who have taken a single strong idea and created a new small business, or reworked an old template and given it new life. What do you need to know to make that happen? Can the city help? What's the economic picture looking like these days? Here to offer some guidance is Rob Walsh, Commissioner for New York City's Department of Small Business Services. Rob, welcome.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thank you.
Great. Well, question I have for you is, in the mind of a small business, I guess the last thing they will think of is going to the city for help. So what's with the Department of Small Business Services, and why should small businesses go there?
You know, you're right. You know, when you're thinking about creating a small business, you think of your accountant, your lawyer,
right?
Perhaps a banker, a friend of yours, and you're not going to be thinking about government. And that's, I guess, the thinking of Mayor Bloomberg when he came in, and he created a Department of Small Business Services. We have over 200,000 small businesses in New York City. And in city government, the size of city government, there was no place to turn.
Right.
And what we needed to do is build out an apparatus for us to help small businesses.
That's great. So what kinds of programs does SBS offer?
Well, there's a number of things. You know, first, you know, look back in terms of, you know, how to, you know, get to the services. And there's a number of different ways to do that. One is 311, where 40,000 New Yorkers, you know, a day on a regular basis are calling. The second, you're seeing many more companies. They get technology, they understand. We have a whole new generation that gets it. Many of our entrepreneurs are dialing up or visiting NYC.gov, and you know that gives you access to small businesses. We have built out in the 5 boroughs and right here in downtown Brooklyn at 9 Bond Street, centers where people could end up going in. They're run by nonprofit entities and for-profit entities that could help a business person who is looking for finance. They might need help with a business plan. They may be looking for extra capital or find out about incentive programs. We will give them one-on-one attention to help those businesses, you know, get up and running.
And the one here in downtown Brooklyn, it's run by the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce?
The Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. They do a terrific job.
Great.
And they have a number of different counselors, and they're out. You know, what we try to do is not reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, is to select organizations that had a contact in the various communities. So whether it's a for-profit entity or a profit entity, we look to them for their guidance and their connections to make things happen.
Okay. And it's called?
Business Solution Center.
Center?
They're on the 5th floor at 9 Bond Street.
All right. And it's free service for
free
businesses?
Services. And we, you know, it's sort of interesting what's happened over time. We had a lot of people coming in early on with ideas. And that's great. That's what New York City is built on. And if you look at you know, the neighborhoods in New York, whether it's Myrtle Avenue here or Smith Street or Atlantic Avenue, what is taking place, you see a lot of small businesses open up: coffee shops, bookstores, restaurants, clothing stores that are opening up by entrepreneurs.
Right.
They're investing in Brooklyn, and making things happen. And the collection of this has been very powerful.
Yeah.
And you know, we're there to help. We can end up helping companies. You know, in some cases they've been turned down by the traditional banks, and there are nonprofit organizations that will be there to help them. Perhaps a business plan needs a little bit of fine-tuning, and to make the case. We find a lot of entrepreneurs who come in the door, who have a great idea, but they can't get their point across.
Yeah, right.
And that's where we're of help.
You know, minority and women-owned businesses make up a big chunk of the Brooklyn small business community. Are there specialized services that SBS can offer specifically to those businesses?
Well, Mayor Bloomberg has revived the program, the whole minority women-owned business program. He's done an unbelievable job in giving us resources even during the toughest times. And what we're seeing is more certified companies than ever before as minority and women-owned businesses. And we make an extra effort to make connections between these companies and starting with city government and city agencies. And we have an advisory board of people who help us out and make those links. What we've been doing more of is working with existing companies to build their capacity. So we have a number of courses that are available. People can visit our website, nyc.gov/smallbiz. They could visit the website. They could get information on free classes on working through the maze of procurement, on technical assistance. And right here at New York Technical College, we have a program specifically towards construction management. Given all the development taking place in downtown Brooklyn, which you know a little bit about, it makes sense that we develop our smaller companies where they're able to compete on the larger levels. And we have an 85-hour course that we work with New York Technical College for a very minimal fee.
Well, that's fantastic.
That takes place.
Yeah, and particularly with the level of development happening in downtown Brooklyn. I mean, there's projected $10 billion worth of development that will be happening in the next 5 years. If MWBE firms can access that through New York City College of Technology, I mean, that would be great in terms of expanding their capacity.
And you're right, and we should be making those links. One of the things that the mayor did was not only make those links back to the City University of New York, which is fantastic, but also the workforce links. Mm-hmm. So the one thing I did miss, why do people come to our business solution centers? They come to get help in terms of skilled workers. We found out, a number of years ago, early in the Bloomberg administration, that people were complaining about the state of our workforce system.
Right.
We were not very good at it. We're very good at it now in terms of identifying people and saving people time and money when it comes to finding New Yorkers for jobs.
Right.
So in the case of, say, Atlantic Terminal here, instead of a company like Target or any of the other retail stores looking at 50 resumes, we could get it down to 4 resumes per job.
Which saves a lot of time and money for individual businesses. And
we've gotten a lot better in terms of identifying skilled workers. And when people see that we're able to do that, we're seeing more and more people coming into our centers, which is co-located with our business solution centers, and that's working out pretty well.
That's great. Last question I have for you. The next story we're about to do has to do with green and eco-friendly businesses. Are there any programs that SBS can offer specifically to those types of businesses, or does it even matter that they're a green business as opposed to a normal small business?
Well, we focus on small businesses, and what the good news is we're seeing more green buildings and green businesses that are popping up all throughout these 5 boroughs. And we have a number of energy cost savings programs for companies. We're seeing many of these companies go into manufacturing and industrial areas. Mm-hmm. And we have special programs. We have a terrific person by the name of Leslie Ramos who runs that program. We have another program that people could take advantage of, a customized training program. We'll pay up to 70% of the cost of training your existing employees for better jobs in your existing companies.
That's a huge savings. That's great.
It is a big savings. Yeah. But the company has to also have some skin in the game, where they put some resources in and make a commitment. And it's interesting. Looking at the list of who is taking advantage of those companies, it's many of these entrepreneurial companies, and in some cases, environmentally friendly companies that are doing this. Right at the Navy Yard is an example of many of these companies that are popping up.
Right. All right. That's fantastic. Well, thanks so much for being with me today. This has been very helpful, and hopefully the small business community will continue and increase their access to the SBS's programs.
Thank you, and it's nice working with you as always. Thank you.
Thanks.
Brooklyn Independent Television on the BCAT TV network.